Hi, I'm John Sylvia, and welcome to Neighborhood News. I'm here with my co-host, Carlos Caesar. So how's it going,
Yes,
Carlos,
John,
today?
good. Another week went by, and we're back again with more neighborhood news. And like I do in every show, eu quero dar as boas-vindas a todos a comunidade portuguesa que neste momento está em sintonia connosco. Este é mais um programa de notícias da sua vizinhança. E sejam bem-vindos, e nós vamos ter mais um programa para si. Very good, John. So we're back. How was the week?
It was good. It was good. Nice weather. So
Yes,
it's always
it's going
pleasant.
faster and faster every week.
Every week, as
We're
we get closer
getting
to the
old,
summer.
and the week's going
I
faster.
try not to think about that.
I don't know what's going on, but so we do have guests again.
Yeah,
like
we
we
have-
promised last week.
Yeah, exactly. This week we have Pam Liberty LeBeau from St. Anne's and Greg Naraki, also from St. Anne's. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thanks for having us.
accepting the invitation to be with us.
Very excited to be here.
Well, maybe we could start out by asking, and I've heard this story before, Pam, but how did you start your neighborhood group? What precipitated this, I guess?
My husband grew up in Fall River, and we planned to make our home here. I'm from the Cape, so it was a big adjustment for me. So I found out there was other neighborhood groups in the city, and I told my husband, I'm fine with making our home here, but I want it to be nice. We're raising children. At the time, we had 2 little ones. Now we have 3. So I went down to City Hall and asked Perry, spoke to Perry, spoke to the mayor, and they brought out a big map and said, these are the neighborhood associations, where do you live? And told them, and there wasn't one there, so here we are.
Okay, great.
And you came from Cape?
The Cape, yeah.
The Cape.
So it's a big
Big
difference.
even in weather-wise.
Everything's different. Everything's different.
There's money
Yeah.
there, right? People have money to,
You
to
know,
deal
I
with-
never was involved in any kind of public, anything, volunteering, nothing. You didn't need to be. Everything was beautiful and perfect, and there wasn't a mayor or a city council. It was very different.
And you adapted. How did you adapt it, this compared to maybe where you came from? It's a big city, right?
Yes, it's a big adjustment. We live in the south end of the city, so there's 3 families, and where I grew up, there's homes and big yards, and it's very different.
So
Beaches.
when you came here, because you're on a timeshare in Yarmouth, and I go there once a year, so you're probably going, where's the water, right? I don't want this 3 family,
you
where's the
can't
water,
turn
right?
around without running into a beach, and here it's cement.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And it's funny there. It's every that end's going to end on the beach.
yep. No matter what direction you go, and you're going to hit water.
That end, you're going to end on the
Yes.
beach.
So it's very different. It took some adjusting, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I had some time to invest into the area, and I want to make it nice for our kids. That's my main goal, is to make it a nice area for the kids, because they're growing up very different than how I did. So,
And so far, you commit yourself to your neighborhoods, and so far you did a lot. You accomplished a lot.
yep.
And do you have the organization for how long?
It was a year in December.
Yes.
Wow.
Was our first year anniversary. So we're almost at the 1.5 point now. And we just ended up with a really good group of people that all had the same vision and all have the same wants for the neighborhood. They've moved there, they're not going anywhere, they're raising families there. Greg and Christine have a little 6-week-old baby at home, they own a home, they're not going anywhere. They have the same idea, they want to make their area nice too. So,
Do you want to just to go very quick over the projects that you did it in a year? I mean,
Yep.
I know Christmas was a really big one.
that was a big one, that was great.
Yep.
We just started out looking around the area. We adopted Kennedy Park. We started doing park cleanups, and then when we were there, we realized that the park needed things, basic things from dog waste dispensers to big things like a new playground. So we started doing family movie nights. We started raising funds for the smaller things. We got the city involved, other people involved to match. We purchased 3 dog waste dispensers. They match with 3 dog waste dispensers. It's a big park. It seems like a silly thing, but when everyone's walking their dog, it's not it's a need. So we started with small things like that, and we did the family movie nights. We brought the Kennedy Park Car Show in last September, which was a huge undertaking and a huge event, but ended up being a great day. We're bringing that back again this September. That's going to be an annual event. That was our first fundraiser for the playground. And then at the end of the year, we did Christmas at Kennedy, which wasn't just us. We wanted to do it, but we wanted to do something that brought all the neighborhood groups together. So we invited everybody to join in. So that was we couldn't have done that alone. That was a big joint effort.
Was a very good event.
Yeah, and it got a lot of, what I liked is it got a lot of positive publicity finally. I mean, we get a lot of negative publicity in Fall River, but it was nice, and to see everybody work together, it was great.
That was
really
one thing
great.
about Christmas at Kennedy, when to see all those neighborhood groups come together, and you could just, when we were setting up in the morning, you could see the Highland Neighborhood Association, they were decorating trees. St. Anne's was doing one thing, Father Kelly was doing another thing. That was so nice to see. And then at the end of the day, we worked really well with the probation department in the city to then take a lot of the things that we did, and we were able to donate back to the community. So we did a huge toy drive that we were able to give to the probation department, and Pam and I spent a Sunday morning one day wrapping gifts, and these kids who would have otherwise gone without got a better Christmas than I could have ever imagined. We had a great donation. Home Depot donated Christmas trees that we decorated at Christmas at Kennedy, and the probation department had 3 families that they took those fully decorated trees to and gave them because they didn't have that in their homes, and it was heartwarming, to say the least.
And it's amazing, this city. That's why I love Fall River, for the fact that when you come out that you in need of something, how people just respond. It's unbelievable. Don't happen in other cities. It happens in Fall River.
It does.
And,
it really
and
does.
it's amazing what a group can, and the difference that a group can do.
I tell you, that morning at Christmas at Kennedy, it was cold, and there was a boy in the park playing that we see there. We see him all year long, and he didn't have a coat on. And some of the other neighborhood people took it upon themselves. They went out, they got him a coat, they got him a sweatshirt, they got him a hat, and they brought it back to him. And it was just, they saw the need. They were going out to get stuff. They took care of him and just kept right on decorating and wanted to make sure he was all set. So it was a great day. And it was great that all the neighborhoods were there, and the kids had a blast. So that's why we did it. We did it for the kids. So we were happy.
So and you guys having a lot of good ideas that want to realize, right?
Yeah, we're
It's
trying to
something-
come up with different ideas. You don't want to do the same thing over. We'll do Christmas at Kennedy again. The movie nights, we got a great response. Last year they asked us if we could do them every Friday, which we'd love to, but we just can't. We talked to some of the other neighborhoods. Could we rotate Fridays? Could they do them in their parks? It would be great if some other neighborhoods could do it. It kind of depends on location with traffic and noise. But we had, at least 300 people with, beach chairs and blankets watching movies, and some of these kids don't ever get to go to a movie. It's expensive. When you go to a movie now, it's crazy.
Yes.
So for somebody to, bring their kids and then get snacks and all of that stuff, so we like to be able to do
we
that.
We have the perfect places to do these events.
Yep.
It's something that again, that we only found on our city.
Yep.
We have a lot of parks. We have a lot of green areas that we could put nice projects together. What I find sometimes is all the same people doing it.
Yes.
And we have John, me, and you, we have our lives.
Yes.
And we try to do as much we can on our free time, which it's not much.
Yep.
But sometimes we have to take time from our families and from our day life to do this stuff. And I do it, and I've been doing for years. With the Flint Pride Days, it's a good example. It's a night that I don't sleep that night because I have to take care of all the vendors. Everybody goes home, but all the bands leave the stuff there.
Yes.
So somebody needs to stay there and take care of it. So I don't sleep that night. But I love it when I look at the street and I see full of people.
Yep.
That it's my pain.
And that's the one thing that when we host an event in the park, we not only want people to gain more knowledge about not only our neighborhood association, but all the neighborhood associations in the city. And the other thing too is when they're in the parks, it kind of gives them a new respect for, wow, look at this beautiful space that we have in the city. We're so lucky to have Kennedy Park, the largest park in the city, right in our backyard. And you know, it forces them to be down there and see the park and really to start using it more. And that is the best way to prevent crime in your parks, is to use them.
Yes, I mean, as you are proud of Kennedy Park, I'm very proud of Lafayette.
Right.
Right now, it's the only park in the city that has a pool.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope it's going to make it in time this year. But I mean, that's the only park. You guys have a pool there.
It's not going to reopen.
It's not going to reopen. It's too bad because Lafayette and Kennedy was the only two pools that the city had.
They do have plans to make a water park. Like the Freetown Forest has. So I think that would be nice.
Yes, it would be nice. I mean, even at the parks, what I'm trying to do at the Travasos is to put a couple of sprinklers, something, a toy, a water toy that the kids can just get there and play with water. So it would be nice. It's just a smaller project, but if every park had that, will attract the kids out of the streets into the parks, and it was something that
Exactly, and I think
it's not impossible, but
No.
it will require a lot of work and a lot of dedication. Again,
money.
from a small group.
Right.
And money again. Yeah.
Money, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the big project.
The playground. The playground. Well, when we started doing all of these events and cleaning up the park and spending a lot of time down there, we realized we were bringing lots of things in when we were doing events. Not that we would stop doing that, but there's a playground there that is in complete disrepair, and still kids are climbing all over it. And we thought, you know, if we had a beautiful playground, there's a feature you don't have to bring in. You don't need to make calls and ask for things to be donated or get sponsors to bring things in because it's built in. So we decided when we were talking about our first big project what it was going to be, and that was the immediate need. CD Rec does the Lunch in the Park programs. Those kids are all over the playground. And if you see it, you know, there's places where it just drops off, the slides. There used to be 3 slides on that playground. They're all gone. It's been burned, it's been graffitied. It's just, and yet the kids are still climbing on it. So we decided that was going to be the project that we would take on. And we also decided that we wanted to make it handicapped accessible because there's not a handicapped accessible playground. There's a few people, myself included, who that's very personal for. We have children that are disabled. So it was very important to us to see that filled in the city. So we, last summer, started meeting with playground companies. It was perfect that it was summer because they could see the park, see the people that were there. You know, kids are out of school, they could see all what kids were doing, the area, and know what kind of an environment it was and what kind of equipment would work in that environment. They could see what had been done to the old playground. It was very important to us that there was no plastic pieces put on. There was nothing that was going to get broken. It needed to be durable. And then we went out and visited dozens of playgrounds all over the state by the 3 companies that we were working with so we could see the quality of the work. And then we chose Game Time for the design. They have put playgrounds in Olmsted parks. That was also important to us. Kennedy Park is an Olmsted Park. It was designed by the same man that designed Central Park in New York City, so that's important. They've already worked in an Olmsted Park. They understood that aspect of it. I I just don't.
Well, you could talk about, I mean, you guys have been a powerhouse with getting sponsors.
Yes.
You just had, today, I guess you guys got
We made our second Legend sponsor, but we went through all of these, we jumped through all the hurdles. We got park board approval, public hearings, we did everything.
Yeah, it's a long process, and then
very long process.
The other side of the coin is not only do you have to get all this approval done, but at the same time in the background, we couldn't accept money unless we were a nonprofit organization.
Yes.
And when we started this whole process, we didn't realize two things. One, how expensive a playground is, and two, how expensive it is to be a nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
So, but thankfully, we were able to do that. We were able to, become a nonprofit organization and start accepting donations. The price tag on the playground is $312,000. That includes the playground equipment itself, with two separate areas, one for smaller children and one for children ages 5 through 12. It includes the flooring, which we're not using wood chips or anything like that. We're using special, almost kind of like a rubberized flooring that has a 16-foot concussion drop, and that includes all the installation as well. So it is a huge price tag for this project.
Yes.
But it is a huge project.
Yes.
It is a huge project, and it was important to us to present it in a way that showcased all of the work that we've put into it and how important this was to us. So, we have the people that were dedicated. We have the people on the playground committee who aren't just from our neighborhood, they're from all over the city. And I always give the example of Jamie Terrell. He's on our playground committee. He lives steps away from North Park, but this was something that was important for him to be a part of. So we put together a committee of people that said they wanted to see this through to completion. And everybody has their strengths. Greg put together a great PowerPoint presentation. So when we go out, we have presentation packets, we have PowerPoint presentation, we have the playground plans all blown up and mounted. I mean, we've put a lot of time and effort into this. We didn't want to go in with, a piece of paper and you're asking for a large dollar amount. We wanted them to have confidence in our abilities to make this happen.
So it is a lot of steps
Yes, it is.
to get into the project. Is any step that you guys still need to get before you get to the next one?
No, we
So talking about permits and licenses.
we've
and
gotten approval from the park board. We have the support of the mayor. We actually met with him again this morning. The city is on board with this project. They are going to help us fund this project. We are continuing with our fundraising, but they are going to step in and help us. We got our first Legend sponsor. The Legend sponsorship is $25,000. The Fall River Disability Commission was our first Legend sponsor, and that couldn't have been more appropriate for this project. We got the call today from Bay Coast. They are our second Legend sponsor. It's another $25,000. We've presented to the Kiwanis, Portuguese American Women's Association,
Rotary Club.
the Rotary Club, St. Anne's Hospital, Primacare. We are waiting for their levels of commitment. Everyone is wanting to be a part of this project.
And a lot of times when we present to these people, some of them don't have, they say, well, we can't give you $25,000, but here's what we can do for you. And I think the Rotary is a great example of that. They are, a club. We presented to the Fall River Rotary Club, and they said, well, you know what, we don't have $25,000 to give you, but what else can we do? And they came to our last cleanup on April 28th and helped us. They planted a tree, they painted a fence, we painted one of the baseball field fences. It's helping us out in a lot more ways than just raising funds. It's building awareness of what we're doing within the community, and that is also a huge step. When we start talking about the playground, in the back of my mind, I almost hope that I'm being repetitive and that the people that I'm speaking to have already heard about the playground project, because half the battle is awareness and making people aware of what it is that we're doing, and that we didn't just wake up one morning and decide we're going to build a playground. It was months worth of work before we could go out in public and say, this is what we're doing, this is how much it costs, and this is our goal right here.
So now that you guys have the license, you have the price for the playground, is any date of the project?
We're hoping for next spring.
Next spring? That's good?
Yes.
Yep.
That's good.
We've also been doing a series of fundraisers, but I just want to get back to what Greg said about community awareness. That was very important to us. We met with the Herald News, and they said, you know, we don't have a dollar amount that we can give you, but we can help you promote all of your fundraisers and the different things that you're doing, which to us,
It's important. It's important. Yes.
the more people that know about it, we're
Yes.
you know, we're going out to the neighborhood associations. We've presented at Father Kelly. We're presenting at Niagara next month. This playground isn't just for our neighborhood. It will be the only handicapped accessible playground in the city. Right now, you know, we have friends that have children in wheelchairs. They go to the playground in Dartmouth. They have a beautiful brand new handicapped accessible playground built by the same company, and that's where they go. And it's a shame they have to travel out of the city with so many parks because
Yes.
there's not one where their children can play. So that's very important to us, is letting people know about the project. It's not only money that people can contribute.
Well, it's good that you mentioned that too, because I think that could be an economic tool for this city.
It absolutely
People coming
can
in.
be.
I mean,
Yep.
and I think, I don't know whether you guys had mentioned it, I heard it somewhere, that St. Anne's Hospital, you know, when people are sick,
Yes.
bring the kids there. That
We
might have been
talked
you
to
guys.
them,
Yeah.
we talked to them
So-
about that. That was something they wanted to be able to provide. If they have patients at the hospital, now, like I said, our daughter is disabled. We spend a lot of time at Children's Hospital. Sometimes you want to take a break from being in the room. You go out for a walk. Well, they go out for a walk and they'll walk around the park. And if they've got little kids with them, or, you know, this is something that they can take advantage of. The playground plan also calls for park benches and picnic tables as well. Half of the picnic tables will be traditional tables and the other half are wheelchair accessible. So it's not just something, and we can't stress it enough, it's not just for our neighborhood, it's not just for our park, anybody, it's a city park.
Because as soon as they're traveling, these folks who need to use a handicapped accessible playground, they do go to Dartmouth. And when they go to Dartmouth, they're probably going to grab lunch at a restaurant
Yeah.
in Dartmouth.
When
and
you
then
leave that
they're gonna
playground,
go shopping
yeah.
in Dartmouth. But if they're in Fall River, hopefully they can take advantage of some of our great local shops, restaurants, and things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's in Fall River again, being a city different from all the others. And I don't know if you noticed, I posted yesterday. I had a meeting downtown yesterday, and I was early, so I stand right on the corner of Troy and Pleasant Street, and I'm standing in there, and my eyes going to run and say how beautiful the city is. You know, it's just we just so busy that we don't realize. So I took my phone and I videoed it.
Yeah.
You know, from one corner to the other, and I posted it on my Facebook. I love the city. You don't imagine how many likes I got. You know, it is. It's just we need just to stop and see what's behind the picture.
Yes. We
And-
really want people to focus on more positive things in the
Yes.
city.
Yes.
It seems it's so easy for people to focus on negative, and
It is. We have a beautiful city with very nice people. Again, that help us sometimes more than they can. Sometimes a person we have more from who we think that cannot help. You know, we got the
Right.
help from them. But that's the city that it's Fall River.
You know, that's probably our best resource, are the people here.
Yes.
I agree. And I don't know, maybe, you know, I've lived in other towns like Fairhaven, so it's a little bit more well off here. And I think maybe because, you know, people have struggled here, maybe that's one of the reasons why, you know, and there's more of a sense of community here. And I think the one thing, and you can probably attest to this, I think over the last few years, I think more light has come on the neighborhood associations, and I think that's a good thing because then everybody wants to try to get involved and jump on that bandwagon. A lot of times people jump on the bad bandwagon, like it's good to
Yes.
be bad now.
Yes,
yes.
So it's nice to see, you know, things being good. And I think we've talked about this. There's this book called The Tipping Point. And in New York, they had these terrible problems. I remember, you guys are a little bit younger. Carlos is probably a little close to my age, but I remember driving into New York in the Bronx on 95, and the cars were all burnt out.
Yeah.
And you know, if you left your car there could be a
was
problem. It
gone.
wasn't going to come back. And there was that tipping point where people just had enough, and it went the other way. And I think we're so close to that point here. You know, and maybe it'll start tipping that point. Maybe it's the neighborhood associations that are going to tip it over. And I can only
No,
hope.
I mean, the neighborhoods association are doing a very important job on our city, and that's, we are promoting the city, and we are showing the city to the people that live on the city,
I agree.
and as they come out, they like what they see, they like what they hear, and they want to get involved, and that's how they got involved. So before we finish, do you want to announce any events that you're going to have, any fundraisers that you can just remember?
Well, we have our
We need another hour to get through all the events. we can give a brief synopsis.
we have our movie nights coming up on Friday, July 20th and Friday, August 17th. The Kennedy Park Car Show is Sunday, September 30th. We're really excited about that. We have Ornament coming to Durfee High School on Friday night, December 21st. That is a Trans-Siberian rock orchestra. They they do fundraisers from Thanksgiving through New Year's. They pick a couple of projects each year, and they do. We went to it last year. It's amazing. It's really amazing. So we're trying to do things that are different. So we have that. We have our neighborhood banners that are going up. They'll probably be up by the time this airs, but there is 25 going up. And
But where are you guys putting them up to? Is it going
we're
to be
putting
around
them
Kennedy Park?
all around the neighborhood.
Okay.
The inaugural 25 are going up this week, and then we are taking orders for the next 25, and then that's going to be it. So there's going to be 50 total. I think we have maybe 12 to 15 left
Yeah,
available.
we're about halfway through, yeah.
And I think once the ones go up this week, those will fill up, and that will be done. But
So are you guys going to put them all together too, or are you
nope,
going to
we've
space them out?
spread them all out. Some people have asked for specific spots. Some people have said, I don't want it near my business. I want it somewhere else because my business sign is here, so let's promote me somewhere else. There's, organizations, the Fall River Preservation Society. There's families. Both of our families have sponsored a banner. There's local businesses and restaurants that have sponsored a banner, the hospital. So I'm hoping when those 25 go up, people will love them, and the next 25 will be sponsored. And
Very good.
Excellent.
I want to, we want to thank Pam and Greg for being in here. And it's one more show.
Yep. Another one.
Goes
done.
fast, half an hour.
it did
Flies,
go fast.
flies.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you for being in here. And thank you for being on that side. And we will see next week.
Yep. Have a good week.
Thank you.